Hi everybody. Today we're going to be talking some bourbon, and we're going to be talking about a very unique product. We're going to be talking about Blantons single barrel bourbon. Now, before we get too far, don't forget, if you like this video, please give me the thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share this with your friends, and give me comments, see what you want to see in Jake the Spirit Man in the future, and let me see if I can do a review on something for you. So this bourbon that we're going to be reviewing today is Blantons. Let's see what it says. Blantons Original Private Reserve Single Barrel Bourbon. Now, also, don't forget, stay to the end of the video. I'm going to teach you a fun, interesting fact about this distillery and some words of wisdom from me. So, this bottle, this line particularly, is very unique. So, it has a great history. Being a single barrel bourbon, what that means is they've actually taken one barrel off the shelf and they've poured it into bottles. Normally they take all the bottles and kind of mix them and make them all taste the same, so they get a very consistent product. Now these bottles here are from a certain actual area, and that is, what is it here? It is Warehouse H. Now Warehouse H is where these barrels are all aged. And one of the unique things about Warehouse H is it was the only warehouse that was made out of steel. And so what that did was the heating and cooling was more extreme than the wooden ones. So the barrels actually retracted and swelled differently than the other warehouses. So they found that that was made some very, really beautiful bourbons. But what they've done is they've taken them and they've actually given you the bottle number. So this bottle number is 192, and the barrel number that it came from is 668. It tells you the dump time. So the time that this was dumped off was May 8th, 20. It was from Warehouse H, like I said. It was rack 17, and it is 93 proof, which translates to me and Australia and people in Canada and other places in the world. It is 46.5% alcohol. The history behind this was Blanton, and he was Colonel Blanton. He took over the distillery somewhere, I don't know the exact date, somewhere in the late 1800s, early 1900s, and it is a Buffalo Trace Distilleries. And he found that Warehouse H, especially one particular area, these barrels were the honey barrels. And all the barrels from that place were better, but there was a certain spot. And he took those barrels. He would not sell those barrels. He would pour them off individually into bottles for himself, for royalty, dignitaries, friends and family, and they were never sold. They were never blended like the rest of the ones together to get the certain flavor. So in 1984, the guy's name was Elmer T. Lee. He actually worked as a stock boy back when Blanton was still running the company and when he was still alive, and now he was the head distiller. And in 1984, he decided he was going to launch a single barrel bourbon. And so he did, and he decided to name it after his old boss, Blanton. And because it came from Kentucky, Kentucky is quite famous for the Kentucky Derby for horses and so on and so forth. And why not put a horse? So they put this beautiful horse cast die into the stopper in the top of the bottle. And now the interesting thing about this too is there's actually 8 horses in total. So they all have a letter right down here, and it will spell out Blantons. And they're in different stages of a race. So they start from at the gate to the finish line. And so they're very collectible. Brilliant marketing. These are all hand labeled. I don't know what this tastes like even yet. I'm giving sounds like a great review, and I haven't even tried the product yet. So I'm curious to see what it tastes like. First time with you guys right now. So let's open up this and see what it tastes like. It has this beautiful seal here that is hand done in a little tiny building. And let's hope, oh God. Wow, that smells nice. And don't forget, also bourbon. It is the only native spirit to the United States, and it has to be made with 51% corn. So just to let you guys know, it is a corn-based whiskey. And let's try this out, see what we think. So on the nose, it has a lot of standard bourbon smells on it. It has the kind of caramel, vanilla, some spices in there. I'm trying to put my nose on them right now, but definitely the you got a bit of the charred oak. Now they don't put a time that this bottle has been aged for. I believe most of them have been aged between 6 and 8 years, but they keep on testing these single barrels to see what the best time to bottle them is. So this bottle, because they're single barrels, you could buy this bottle and you could get different different smells, different flavors. It won't be the same as the next one. They're trying to make it as close, but it's not a blend like all the rest of the barrels. So it is very unique that way. Let's yeah, you definitely get the kind of toffee, caramel, oak, vanilla. Okay, let's try it out, see what we think. Maybe a little bit of a tiny bit of a creamy taste in there. Smallest hint of clove. Hmm. Oh, that's interesting. It has a very quick finish to it, which is, good and bad. Got a heavy corn taste to it. You can taste the corn, the sweetness of the corn in there. You can taste a bit of the rye in there. It has the hints of all the flavors that come with a nice rye whiskey in there too, but more subtle. Of course, it is. Yeah, it's a. I guess one of the things that I have to say about this bottle is it is a good product, but I think that let me try one more sip here. I think the flavor they're getting here is really good, but I think that you could probably get a comparable product for a bit less dollar. This is a fairly, not expensive bottle, but you definitely know when you buy it. Different places in the world it'll be sold for different prices, so I don't really want to quote a price because depending on where you're watching this, could change. But I think for what they've done to this bottle and the stories behind it, I think it's worth maybe that extra bit of money because it's got a great story point. And I always tell you, sex appeal in bottle, and it definitely has that. It's hand labeled. It has that cool shape. It kind of looks like a hand grenade, which most people say. The stopper that are collectible. They make 8 different stoppers that you can collect. I think the marketing on this was brilliant. I think the product is really good. It's not super complex, but it's definitely not a bad product in any way. I would say, for a bourbon, if somebody gave this to me, I'd be happy to sip this and have a great, bullshit with somebody on a story and enjoy this product. Wouldn't knock it back at all. But like I said, I think that sometimes when you buy a bottle, or just like when you go to a restaurant or something like that, and I've mentioned this before, is sometimes you do buy a story, you buy an image, you buy something. And I think you are buying a bit of that, but I think on this product particularly, I think you may be worth buying that product because I think it has that. So if you can find it in your liquor store and you can get it, it's kind of cool. You can see that it's all handwritten on the bottle and the different, barrel numbers, the different rack numbers, all those things. So I told you that I'd tell you some words of wisdom, and actually today's words of wisdom are actually about this product itself. So this product, it was launched in 1984. In 1984, there was a big recession in the United States. Bourbon was, surprisingly, there was actually companies going bankrupt and there was distilleries being shut down left, right, and center. And this distillery that had the master distiller there, he decided, hey, I'm going to launch a new product line and completely different. And normally when you're in a recession and things are going bad, normally you kind of grit your teeth and hold on to the customers you got and don't change too much because, you know, you just don't want to go under. And so in 1984, it was the first bourbon company to launch a single barrel bourbon. And why that means something for what it was is, one, it was marketed after the original, you know, Blanton, you know, and he named it after him. But if you launch a product that is different than everybody else, you're in a different marketing strategy. So I love marketing, and so they went with a blue water theory. Yes, it is a bourbon, but it is the only bourbon at that time that was a single barrel bourbon. So when they did that, they're the only people that were selling this product. And that it was a brilliant, you know, I give them kudos. And then making a collectible piece on the top, they had to collect all 8 to get the series. Making the bottle, making the story, the handwritten, making your price points a little bit higher so the people that did have some money could, or even the people that maybe didn't have too much money, they could splurge and buy a very unique product. I think if you're in that position, the world's kind of in that position right now with COVID-19 and companies going tits up and stuff. If you can launch something different and more unique and that you're not competing with anywhere, and that's why I say if you ever read the book Blue Water, Red Water, I think that's what it was called. Anyways, brilliant thing. But Blue Water is basically what they did on this product, and I think that is incredibly intelligent. That's why I'd say go out and buy it, because they've done everything right. The price points are a bit higher. Yes, you could probably get a similar product tasting the same way for a little bit less, but is it going to be worth it? I don't think so. And I don't get paid for any of this, so I have friends and family and people ask me, hey, Jake, why do you always do your reviews and mostly come back good? I say, well, because I don't get paid to do this, and I have to buy these bottles on my own pocket. So if I'm going to buy booze that I've never tried before, I really hope they taste good, because I'm stuck with the bottle afterwards. So if you guys want to sponsor me and send me a bottle or and get a shout out or something like that, I'm happy to review anything. But if I'm reviewing my own things, I'm hoping that they taste good. I haven't given everything perfect reviews, but this is one of the ones I can say it, you know, for its price point, it is a bit higher, but for the story behind it, I think it's great. So I really hope that somebody might want to try this out, and if you can find it in your liquor store, and, you know, tell them the story. You know, now you know a little bit about it. And I told you I'd tell you a fun fact about this particular distillery. Now this is Buffalo, what is it here? Buffalo Trace Distilleries. Now, back during Prohibition in the United States, the funny thing about this one is there was 4 bourbon distilleries that actually had licenses to keep on distilling for medicinal purposes. And this was one of them. They could actually distill during Prohibition. And as long as you got a doctor's note and say, I'm in pain, you could get a beautiful bottle of bourbon, you know, top yourself up. So I think that's a cool thing about this too. The distillery has a lot of history. If you want to know more, please send me some comments, or let me know if you want me to do another video on more on the distillery itself. Maybe not this product, but they do other beautiful stuff. And don't forget, you know, subscribe to my channel, because I need as many subscribers to reach more people so I can get more videos out there. And give me the thumbs up if you like this video. Share this with your friends. And hey, everybody, keep your stick on the ice. Want to see you in the next video. Cheers.